What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to the channel. If it's your first time coming to the channel, I want you to go ahead and subscribe and smash that like button. Really would appreciate it. So I just made this video to talk to you about a subject that a lot of people, talk about, because I was going to make a quick little short, but I decided to make a whole video about it. And this video was about how to get off child support, because my boy was hitting me up asking me how I got off child support. So I wanted to make this video real quick, trying to explain to people how I got off child support. And mostly I don't want to cause any confusion, because I'm not the author of confusion here. I'm just trying to unconfuse people, and I'm going to use what I know and the knowledge I know and things I've learned in my time and travels on this earth to try to help other people out understand what's going on. So first thing, okay, we're going to talk about how to get off child support. So first, right, let's go over what child support is, okay? Well, look at the word child support. The reason I say that is because I learned that there's a theory by two guys named Zapier and Worf. There's a theory that they believe that words can be used as a tool and used like a hammer and nail, they can be used as a tool. So you gotta be careful, or you gotta see how words are constructed and how they're used as these tools, because sometimes people can manipulate you at how you look at things and how you perceive things, your perspective. Because you have perspective and you have perception. So I want to go over a little bit about it, because the word child support is confusing, because people say, how do you get off child support? So let's look at the word child support. Let's reverse the word, supporting your child. So ask yourself, how do you get off supporting your child? Sounds crazy, right? Exactly. See how the words can be used as a tool to make you think a little more clearly. How much do you pay for supporting your child? Okay? How do you get off supporting your child? Sounds crazy when you put it in those words reversed around. So be careful with the words and how they're used. So because people, I believe, people like the child support enforcement, they know that these words are more than just, money. You don't just pay somebody $1 million and say, oh, okay, here's $1 million. I give you this money and I ain't got to pay child support. Or I ain't got to see my kid or anything. No, that's pretty much being an absent father, because you're supposed to be there to teach your kids ethics and morals, and that's supporting your kid, Like if you bought a kid a jacket and you weren't there to make sure the jacket zipped up, or teach them why their jacket should be zipped up, because, they could be walking outside and not having their jacket zipped up. You got to teach those things and why it's important. So that's child support, instruction, nurturing, things like that. That's what you want to do when you want to support your kid. Now, look into the Department of Child Support Enforcement. If you want to get off child support that way, that's under their rules. There's pretty much a simple process to do that. Now, this doesn't guarantee, like, you still support your kid. Like I said before, look at the word. So if you're not paying the Department of Child Support Enforcement, you still should have support for your offspring forever. It's not a 18 or 21. It's not a magical number. It's forever. This is your assignment. So you're supposed to guide that person, illustrate, tolerate them, support them in their endeavors and what they do in life. And that means, you gotta take accountability, because they didn't ask to be here. So supporting somebody And that way, broadens what support is, because when people buy houses in life, you need support. You need to learn how to do that from your parents, or seeing people around you do those things. And that's generational knowledge, So child support and how to get off child support. Well, you just don't want to be there as a parent. First of all, if you want to get off child support, the universal way, I think, universal thinking, the word child support, supporting your kid, if you wanted to stop doing it, just be an absent person in the offspring's life for the rest of their life. But if you want to do it the other way, like I said, with the child support enforcement, it's a pretty simple process. All you have to do is, the custodial parent has to do this basically. They have to write a letter to the state headquarters of the child support enforcement. And they have to write a letter stating that, basically saying their name, their address, and that they want you pretty much off paying for child support, through the government. Okay, so what they'll do is they'll get this letter from the custodial parent. It has to be mailed in. Once they receive the mail, they'll go ahead and look at it, and they'll set up a court date. Once you get this court date, you got to appear at court. Now, the non-custodial parent, or the custodial parent, might not have to appear in court. The letter might be all they need. I'm not sure. Every situation is a little different. My situation, she didn't need to be in the courtroom. They just confirmed with her that the letter is real. That's it. That's basically all they had to do. And I got a letter stating, when I went to court, after you go to court, you get a letter back from the court stating that, you don't have to pay any back payments. Like if you owe like $4,000 or so, you don't have to pay that. Now, if she wants to, or he wants to, they can still reverse that and say like, well, say for instance, like you're off paying for the Department of Child Support Enforcement. Then what you can do is, you could actually put somebody back on it if you want to. And then, anything they owe back charges just comes right back in effect. If you owe $4,000 and they take you off child support through the government and later on put you back on it, well, then you owe $4,000 again. That's it. So that's how you get off with the government. But anybody paying child support through the government, I just want to say something. Now, I'm going to make a series of videos about child support because there's a lot that goes into it. And I want to talk about, everything. That's what God, because like I believe trying to get justice for everybody. I'm not trying to like promote some nonsense out here for, YouTube. This is actually just trying to help people out understand what child support is and how to support your kids. Sorry, try to get the sound out the way. So, basically, try to do your best to pay, the government what they want you to pay. Don't be combative. And like, I'll make a series of videos of how to talk to people, how to communicate with the parent, the custodial parent and the non-custodial parent, how you guys are supposed to communicate and talk, and then how to handle money and things like that. But for the most part, it's pretty basic. If you owe $250 or $500 or $800 or $1,000, whatever you owe, you make sure you make those payments. And if you can't make those payments, you make sure you tell somebody and let them know, like, I'm going through a difficult time. I can't pay my rent or my mortgage or my bills and make this payment. What they will have to do is they have to make some kind of adjustment, because they have to look at your finances and they have to make some kind of adjustment, because life is not a straight line. Sometimes there's a lot of ups and downs and curves. So people lose their jobs or whatnot, and you can't pay, you can't make a payment. So you're going to have to communicate with people and say like, hey, look, I just lost my job. They let me go. Working here like blah, blah, blah years. Now, I don't have, I'm jobless now. All I can do is pay my mortgage until I find a new job. They might help you out. I'm not saying they will, but you might get some help. The government is not designed to help families. So just wanted to put that out there, because if they were, then they would give more support for kids and families. As like, let's say you need help and you guys have a kid together and you want to seek help and get child support from the government. They won't help you unless you're not, if you're together, they won't help you. Okay? So like if you're living together, they're going to be like, nah, we don't want you guys together. That's what we believe child support is. We'll help you if you're not together raising your kid. Sounds crazy. Sounds crazy. But that's the way it works. They will not support you if you guys are together. So, like I said, it's not designed to help you, man. It's only designed to pay somebody some money, and then God knows what happens with the money, because it's not put away into any stocks or S&P 500 or any ETFs or anything to put away for generational wealth. It's not taught through the Department of Child Support Enforcement. It's not taught how to use, real estate for income, and how to teach your kids how to live passive lives, how to be business owners. They don't teach that. That's child support. Teaching your kid how to be a business owner. Teaching your kid about stocks. Teaching your kids how to buy a house, how to run a business, how to get a job. Discipline, patience. They don't teach that. The government doesn't teach you, or doesn't teach your kid how to have discipline, patience, or consistencies in doing things. They don't teach that. So even when you're paying this money to the Department of Child Support Enforcement so it can pay the custodial parent, and they're making money off this. They want you to be late because they're going to make money off the interest. The interest doesn't go to the custodial parent, it just goes to their pockets. So make sure you pay. But also make sure you do more than what they tell you. Just pay. So, like I said before, if you want to get off child support, just don't do nothing. Be an absent person in that offspring's life forever. Don't even try. Make no attempt to do anything financially. Don't communicate with them. Teach them anything. Show them any kind of love or attention or any of that. Okay? That's how you get off child support. Even if you're going to pay the government, whatever you're going to pay them, don't do nothing. And then eventually, really, you're not paying child support. To me, you're just paying the government so you won't go be in trouble, lose your job, or lose your license, or lose your freedom. That's the only reason why you're paying. It has nothing to do about raising your child, teach them things, So, shout out to all the people out there, custodial and non-custodial parents out there watching this video. Just wanted to help. It's your boy Reggie. Like I said, it's your first time coming to the channel. Please subscribe, hit that like button. Really would appreciate it. Thoughts become things. Have a nice day. Peace.